Everyone, welcome back to Bird Week. I'm working on the journal. It's really coming along. I'm adding a lot of other details and want to make sure I have a stamp on each page. I'm doing some pockets, some flip outs. There's another little pocket on this page. I've created some really nice foldaways that you're going to open up and discover more and more. So that was really fun to make. I'm using some envelopes that I'm going to create into pockets and attach to the book. I've added a old book page from a children's book, and I've stamped an owl on it because I'm seeing some great things coming in from our viewers about what you're working on for Bird Week, and often I'm seeing an owl, so I thought I better get some owls into this journals. And then I also cut out some images on my die cut press that you'll probably remember me demonstrating if you haven't watched that video. It's an earlier video that I did just on the basics of die cutting. I love it. I have some bird die cuts that I have, and I've attached one here. I just use the pages that I did on my gel press and cut those out. It worked really well, so I'll be adding those kinds of accents to the book as well. This is going to be a fold out tag. There's no birds on this page, but there are bird cages, so I thought that counted, and that's going to be a neat little fold down as well. So lots of things going on with the book, and I need to work on the cover still. Obviously it's going to be bird themed, and I'm hoping that you really enjoy it. I hope to give a flip through of that on Friday. And I've had a little bit more success with transferring of the bird images from my laser printer. I'm not going to demonstrate that right now though, because I have not perfected it. I just wanted to show a really simple craft. This is just to demonstrate Bird Week. A really simple craft that I wanted to do for Bird Week. And this is a wooden cutout of a bird. I just got it at the dollar store. I think it came in a pack of, I don't even remember, 4, 6, who knows. But they're really nice to paint on. They're nice to just hang. They're very simple decoration, good for any time of the year. What I wanted to do was, I also love maps, and I wanted to have a map image on my bird, and then I wanted to write some words on my bird. And on this bird I was going to write "Be Free." And these are nice little gifts to give away, to hang up in your own craft room or own room as a little bit of inspiration. So this is an old map. I love the colors of old maps. You don't really find those blues and greens in current maps like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a bunch of glue to this bird. It's a really simple activity. Anybody could do it. It'd be great for kids. Now, if you have any sort of white glue will work. I wouldn't really suggest a glue stick, but it would still work. Mod Podge would be great for this. So anyways, just put all the glue over, and I'm just going to use my finger, but obviously you can use better tools than your finger. Popsicle stick, glue spreader, plastic sticks. I have some of those, but this is working okay. You just want to make sure it goes all over, right to the edges. White glue will dry clear, so don't worry about it getting over the edges, but we just for sure just want it on the edges. And I'm just going to rub my glue on my piece of paper there. So when you're looking at a map image, you want to figure out how you want it to be placed on the bird. I have a little bit of Alaska here, and I guess a little bit of Russia, I guess, on that map. So, but I really like this blue. Blue's nice for a bird as well, and I'm just trying to place it here. I'll get a little bit of the Alaska coastline, and I'm just going to push it straight down. You could get very specific on where you wanted to put your bird on an image. If you don't have any maps to use, you could also use magazines would be nice. There's so many nice pictures in magazines. You could use a photograph. You could use just colored paper. I really like the idea of the map though. So what I'm doing is I'm just pushing this down really really well. And in order not to get any bubbles or anything, I'm going to use my brayer that I use in my newfound passion of the jelly press, and I'm going to just push out any air bubbles or any other glue. You can also trim your map closer to the bird image. The dollar store has lots of wooden cutouts, not only birds, but there's at our dollar store anyway, there's lots of different ones like dinosaurs, unicorns, circles even. So there's a lot of variety if you wanted to do something not just bird related, just to hang up, and it makes really amazing, simple crafts. So I'm just going to let that dry before I cut that out. I'm going to be using an X-Acto knife to cut this out. So let's just let this dry for a minute and I will be back. Okay, so it's pretty much dry. I'm going to cut it using an X-Acto knife. It's a little bit wet right there still, but I'm just going to see how I can do this, and hopefully it will cut well. So you can take some scissors and cut around your image first, but I'm just going to, I don't want to cut on my page there. 1 second. Didn't realize I was cutting on my whiteboard there, so I'm going to be cutting onto this mat. And the glue is still a little bit wet, but it's still working out. If you want to give it another nice look, you can take some sandpaper afterwards, sandpaper the edges, make it look a little bit more rustic, or you can just leave it as it is. And that might be depending on your image, what you decide to do. If something's just a little bit more vintage or older looking, maybe you want to have that older look and use some sandpaper to distress the edges or corners. Or maybe you just want to have it super crisp. I'm trying not to cut the string, so I'm just going to cut it wide here for a minute and go back in. So there's our bird with our nice map image on it. So I'm going to go in and tidy this up a little bit more. I'm going to wait for some of that to dry. If you're doing this with an X-Acto knife, just really make sure your knife is super sharp, and then it won't pull away at the image or the glue. I'm going to take some scissors, I think, and round those corners in the end. And I'm trying not to get this string cut, so it's a little bit tricky right here. I am using a knife blindly underneath that string. Okay, so for the most part, I can trim that a little bit when it's really dry, but for the most part, that is perfect. And what an amazing little craft to hang. So you could leave it exactly like that. Or what I'm going to do, and what you can do, is I wanted to write some words on there, be free. And I'm going to, again, that's bothering me, so I'll trim that up later. But I am going to write be free. I love anything text related, like fonts, those kind of things. I love that. I love my own, doing my own handwriting. But if you don't feel comfortable doing your own script, what you can do is print something off on your computer and do the old trick of covering the back with some pencil, or in this case I just used a little bit of charcoal, and I'm just trying to grab my charcoal again. So I just rub over where you're wanting to copy the image. And this, again, a soft pencil works just as well if you don't have a charcoal pencil. And what I'm going to do is decide where I want it. And I want it about there. And all I really want is to get the basics of the shapes. And then I can go in there with a darker pen and make it better, make it complete, but really I just want to get the outline. So I'm just using a pencil, and I don't care if I mark the front of this because I'm not going to use it again. And I'm just tracing the letters. Sorry, I can't trace and talk at the same time, I guess. And really a lot of this is just practice if you wanted to do your own lettering, and learning cursive if you don't know it. So that, I'm hoping, will be enough to show me a bit of a shadow on the other side. And yes, it's faint, but that's good for me. I can take my pen and go from there. So I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a Sharpie pen. I think I'm going to start with a Sharpie pen. Actually, I'm going to start, these are some drawing pens, and I love them. What are the names of them? They are Sakura Pigment Sensei pens. So I have 3 sizes here, 0.3, a 0.6, and a 1. So I'm going to start with the smallest one. And I'm going to use this Be Free as a guide. So I know that I want my B to come up, and it's a little bit tricky in those words there, but I can still see it. And again, you're going to make this your own anyway, so just have fun with it. I'm just really showing you a way to get an image onto the page if you're not feeling confident enough to do your own lettering. And I'm going to go back in there with a thicker pen and do the thicker parts of this. So that was the basics. I mean, you could just leave it like that if you wanted to, but I'm going to go in with a darker, thicker, and use a 6. And see these lines here, they're quite a bit thicker, and I'm just going to make them just thick. And it's thicker on this. And once you start playing around with lettering, you'll understand where the thick is and compared to where the thin is. I'm just tracing just for the basics of this, but once you again start lettering, you'll understand it's more on the downstrokes that the thick is, and the upstrokes are thinner. I just messed that one up, but let's make that one thick. Yeah, I kind of messed up that little E there, but that's okay. I'm going to go in with my small one again and just emphasize this little line here, this one here. And when you're thinking of words to use, I just said be free because a bird flies and it always looks so free in the sky. But use any words that really resonate with you. Maybe happy, freedom, thankful, love, adventure. So that is that. And you can make a whole set of these with all your birds that you got in one package from the dollar store, which is with $1.25 for so many little birds, which is great. And if you were giving these as a gift, you could use the map from where you live or where the person lives and make it really personal that way if you were giving a little go away present, for example. So I'm going to let that dry. I'm not going to show this on camera, but I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to take a nice eraser and rub away all of the graphite that's behind there, and it will give it a crisper image. So that is my easy bird craft for Bird Week, and I really hope you enjoy that. Please subscribe to our channel, comment below if you have any questions, get your friends to subscribe to this channel. It's all about crafting and having fun together, whether it's paper crafts or diamond painting or paint by number, anything. If it's fun, if it's crafty, we love to do it. See you next time. Bye.